because you would have to just be on the channel. But if you are happen to be watching right now, we are watching the latest trailer for Batman Arkham Knight. It is called Gotham is Mine, which we can discuss more on a later date, or later on in the stream, because it's funny that he actually doesn't say Gotham is Mine in the trailer. But I just lost my mind about this on Twitter, and somebody made a good suggestion where we should talk about it, get the conversation going. And I love Batman, and I know a lot about Batman, but there's all sorts of little details that I might be missing in here. What's up, Alan Hutt? Is it Alan Hutt? Have we established?
We have
the pronunciation
not
is there. You're on camera. Do you want to?
No, I'm just a co-pilot.
All right, Kyle Bossman is co-piloting here.
Do let us know about audio. That is the most important thing, straight out, though.
Yeah, let us know how this sounds in relation to me, because we're not hearing this on our end. But I've watched this trailer like 50 times already. This trailer's hot. There's a lot of things that I really like about the attitude of this trailer. I guess going into it, I got to talk about. It's basically live. We got two members. Let's all go to the trailers. So, things I wasn't necessarily excited, honestly, about Arkham Knight. I was really depressed that. Any pronunciation is good, thanks. I was bummed that all the people left. Like, the first trailer that they ever released, they're like, oh, everybody's leaving Gotham now. And so, every Arkham game we've gotten so far has had no people in the city. There's nobody there. It's just like, oh, it's Christmas and everybody's indoors, because, right, that's what happens on Christmas, right? No one goes outside, right? And now it's like, oh, citywide evacuation. I'm sure all of that happens before you even start playing the game. So it's just like, oh, okay, we're not going to, do what Grand Theft Auto does, which just creates this living, breathing city. Like, we're just going to have Batman run around and protect, nobody. Which Blair actually brought up a really good point, which is, if everyone's gone, what's there to steal? You see, Two-Face's crew, they, set up an explosive, and they blow something open, and they're going in. It's like, what are you doing? What are you stealing? You steal money, what are you going to spend it on, And so, my take is that it's basically it's like a fire sale. Basically, everything in Gotham must go. So it's they're actually not planning to seize Gotham. They're planning to take every asset that they possibly can that still exists in Gotham, and then take off. He actually says, I don't know what the exact line is, but he says, first Gotham, now the world. He's like, after I leave Gotham and fulfill whatever plans that I have to do. Which is what's great that they, there's a lot that's revealed in this trailer, but I think that's the big tease that we still don't know. It's the big mystery is what's Scarecrow's endgame here? What's the goal other than? And I think that's the biggest thing that really excites me about this trailer. Is every time there's a trailer for a Batman game, it's always that damn Batman, we gotta stop it. So we're gonna set up this plan, we're gonna catch Batman in the middle of it, and then we're gonna shut him down. And this trailer's who cares about Batman? Really? What? We're Shendo. It's who cares what Batman does? He's just not even a factor in this. We're not trying to stop him, we're not trying to take him down. Our plans have nothing to do with Batman. And so, that's what really excites me about this, is that, if I was Batman, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be like, I was completely powerless to stop this. It seems like a lot of stuff actually is put into place before you even begin the game. And so I'm curious to see, totally what that means for the game, and for, if Batman's, constantly playing catch-up the whole time, and constantly trying to, track the villains down. Interesting that they show Firefly in one shot. But at the end, when they do the Rogues Gallery montage, they show Poison Ivy, they show the Riddler, and they show Two-Face. They show Penguin at one point, but they don't bring him back in the end.
Right.
So I'm curious how many villains are going to pop up. Obviously, Arkham City had a tease with. Do you think Batman will end up killing someone in this game? What do you think the M rating is for? Yeah, that's another good topic. It's what?
Absolutely.
So what is M ratings for? It's for swearing.
Yeah.
Nudity, possibly. Yeah. Violence, I guess, in the goriest form, because there's violence all over these games. So all you do is just beat the crap out of people in the Arkham games. I don't know if blood has been shown that much in the Arkham games.
No, they've all been tea.
I remember the animated series, Batman slammed Man-Bat into a wall in the pilot of the animated series, and then had blood trickling out of his mouth, and then that was it. That was the only time they showed blood. I think maybe in the third or fourth season of the animated series, they finally brought when he gets scratched or something, you see a little fly out. But yeah, like, what is that M rating for? I was talking earlier with Mr. Michael P. Huber about the one thing that frustrates me about a lot of the Batman movies, and that's if we create this villain, we need to kill him. It's like it's like Joker's in the 1989 Tim Burton movie dies at the end. Penguin's in Batman Returns dies at the end. That's actually one of the reasons I liked. I can't remember Two-Face dies at the end of Batman Forever. I know we shouldn't talk at length about Batman Forever on this stream, but like, that's actually one thing that I really liked about Batman and Robin, which is like the worst of that like seeming arc of Batman movies that started in 1989. But I like that the origin stories actually of the Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy, and the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze were fairly in line with their origin stories in the comics, where all the other movies were like, Catwoman's gonna literally have life breathed into her by cats. Like, what's happening here? I liked at the end of Batman and Robin that they go to Arkham, that they actually like go to prison and they put them in prison together. So it kind of suggests that like this is Batman meeting these characters, but they're going to return and keep coming back, and he's going to keep having to fight them. Whereas in this, I kind of want them all to die. I think that would be really interesting. Kind of reminds me of Dark Knight. Dark Knight Returns to a certain extent because he does, I believe he kills Two-Face in that. It's kind of ambiguous, like what happens to Two-Face in Dark Knight Returns. But specifically, Dark Knight Strikes Back is all about killing Lex Luthor. It's all about everybody getting together and being like, we've been wasting our careers kind of chasing these guys and putting them in prison, so they're just going to break out again. And we're worried about our reputations the whole time. So it's like, oh, Superman's like, well, I don't want to kill anybody because then nobody will trust me. And then you have like Oliver Queen and Bruce Wayne and all of these, and like Wonder Woman and all these people who are like looking at the end of their careers, the end of their lives, and they're like, what do we have to show for what we've done? Lex is still in power. Like all these people are still doing what they're doing. Let's just kill them. Like let's literally just, who cares if people don't like us? Who cares if our reputations are soiled? So like it'd be really interesting to see if like that's the approach that Batman takes. If he's like, I don't have any fans anymore. Literally the whole town is gone. Everybody's, pissed at me anyway because I've failed. And it's like another really great line from the trailer. He's like, all I had to do is gas a couple people and say some mean things, and that's how much you're worth. That's literally how much your security is worth, Batman. And so, yeah, maybe Rocksteady coming out and saying, because they're the ones that put that headline out the other day, that they're like, our game is M. Meditate on that. So it's like, what does that mean?
I have a question about killing Lex Luthor.
Right.
Do they do it?
Yeah.
And how does that feel? Like, does that affect the story to you?
I think they just wrap it up with that. I think it's Hawkman that actually kills him. And I can't remember who it is. If it's Superman or Batman that actually like has the last conversation with them. But he says, like, you're going to be dead soon. And Lex laughs and looks up, and Hawkman just comes like crashing into the ceiling and just crushes his head with a hammer.
How does that impact you? Like, if you see Batman kill people, would that bother you as a Batman fan?
It wouldn't bother me because they've stated very clearly that this is the end of their story. And to me, the way I approach Batman is, to me, there's various Batmans. It's kind of like, they talk about, different universes in both the Marvel, line and the DC line. And to me, personally, as a Batman fan, I have my own personal Batman. I have my own way that I think the story should go. That, like, I have my own preferred. Like, for me, I think it's really important that Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne went to school together. I think that makes their characters way more interesting. So when you have Harvey Dent turn into Two-Face, Batman's got to go stop him without revealing to Two-Face who he is. But he still carries that weight with him that he's like, not only am I responsible for this guy killing all these people and stealing all this money and committing all these crimes, as Two-Face, I feel regret because this is my friend. It's like, what if Damiani like turned into a supervillain and we're like all blaming ourselves, like, oh, it's our fault. We'd only said no, Damiani, don't move to Texas. Or like whatever. Yeah. So when like Gotham is like, no, Dent's 20 years older than Bruce. It's like, all right, well, you just kind of threw that away. Or like when Christopher Nolan has like, no, he's new to Gotham. It's like, all right, well, you just took all of that possible drama and just threw it away. But at the same time, Delcast, yeah, no, I'm nowhere near done hyperventilating about this. But at the same time, I accept that those Dark Knight films were Nolan's vision. So it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want because it's your own self-contained universe. What upsets me is when people look at like Heath Ledger's performance of the Joker, and they're like, "That's the Joker, definitively done. That's the best Joker ever." And it's like, nope, that's Nolan's Joker.
Right.
And it's his own neat thing, and it fits in that universe. But if you were to take Heath Ledger's Joker out of that universe and put him anywhere else, it wouldn't work. It would just be weird. It wouldn't work. It works in that universe. So if they're like, I don't care how many sequels to Batman Origins, Rocksteady, who made Origins? WB Montreal.
Okay.
So like if WB Montreal wants to pick up what they did with Origins and make other prequel stories, that's great. But it's going to end with all of these guys dying, or it's going to end with Batman making these hard decisions. No, the story's not a reboot. This is the end of the Arkham saga. This is the last. If Origins is the beginning, this game is the end. This is the last game that Rocksteady's making. They are wrapping it all up, and they're not rushing it. They're like, nope, we're going to delay it, so we can put time and energy to it. And one thing that's really exciting about this trailer is the last 3-part trailer that we got from Arkham Knight was like, okay. I'm embarrassed that we're getting just as many people that tune in to Toy Box Tuesday to just watch me talk about
This is how easy it is. Yeah, this is how easy it is.
Does Brandon have a job, or is he just a YouTuber? I wish I was just a YouTuber. That'd be great. Did anyone bring up the idea of the Arkham Knight is just a hallucination created by the fear toxin? That's one thing that no, because they already established gameplay of people talking about the Arkham Knight. So like when I played the Ace Chemicals demo at E3 last year, he shows up and there are guards there that are like, look, there's the Arkham Knight in a helicopter. Other people talk about the Arkham Knight. I don't think we've seen Gordon talk about it, but I don't think that's going to be the twist. I think there's obviously, it's like probably Nightwing or something. It's clearly someone that knows him. It's clearly someone that's fought with him before. So I think it's the predictable play would be that it's a former hero, that it's a fallen hero. It's someone that used to work with Batman, and now maybe it's Catwoman or something like that. That'd be cool. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man. That'd be a nice twist.
Catwoman's sick. We haven't seen Catwoman yet.
Yeah, they haven't shown her.
Arkham Knight is Catwoman.
But didn't anyone die in Asylum? I don't know. That's another thing you guys might have to chime in on is what the death count is so far for characters. Adjay. Thank you for pronunciations of names are always appreciated.
Yeah,
Mr. Adjay Twitch. Thank you, sir. But hallucinations are huge. I think that would be a really, really smart play because the hallucinations in the previous Arkham games are always clearly established. Like even in Arkham Asylum, when he opens up a door and gets gassed, it's like, oh, okay, here it comes. Like right. I know, you clearly signaled that he just got some toxin in him, so I know what's going to happen. The idea that's spinning around in my head is, what if Batman gets injected in something that he can't get? That's not just like, oh, this is going to go away in an hour. It's like, I can't get this out of my bloodstream. And so he's battling with these hallucinations the whole time. Then he can do all sorts of cool things. Then he can hallucinate that people are turning against him. Maybe he goes to the police station and starts beating up cops and then realizes like, oh no, they actually weren't fighting me.
I would hate that.
What if, wouldn't that be terrible?
Yes.
What if he hallucinates the Joker? What if that was one thing that I was talking to Brad Ellis about before I got on the street. That'd be so great. I know people are like, Joker's done, don't do Joker anymore. But how great would it be if Joker's like, it's kind of like the Telltale Heart. Joker's constantly there, showing up and talking to Batman and taunting him, and it's all just in Batman's head. He knows it. He's like, I saw you die. I know you're not there.
Yeah.
And by virtue of how you're appearing to me, I know you can't possibly be real. But at the same time, you're in my head and I can't get you out.
You know what this reference to? The red streak somebody saw in one shot? Does that mean the Flash is in this game?
Oh, I don't know. That's another thing too, is that there were rumors for a long time because DC is making a big Justice League push now with Dawn of Justice and then Justice League coming in like 2018 or whatever, that are we getting it's like, it seems like, oh no, Gotham's lost, and it's like, well, if Superman shows up, he can solve this in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, but what if Superman showed up and Batman was crazy? It's like, what do? Do you stop Batman? Do you
well, if he's on hallucinogens.
Yeah. What if Batman's just losing? None of this is happening. I don't know. I think it's really smart. I think they looked back at the work that they had done and they realized, like, to be honest, guys, I think that young Bruce Wayne scene in the first Arkham where he trips out and Scarecrow gives him the toxin is the best thing out of any of these games. I think that's like the crowning moment of us doing something that clearly established this as like a different Batman game.
Sure.
And so I think they're like, let's go all in on that. Let's basically, not have Batman be like, wow, I really got to fly a lot of places tonight, and I really got to beat up a lot of people. It's like, no, I really have to, grapple with, do I want to just throw these guys back in prison? Because who cares? There's no one, no one's gonna keep them under lock and key. No one here. Everybody left. It's like, should I just, should I take them all back to the Batcave and lock them up there? Should I just kill them? Like, what am I gonna do? Is Gotham even worth saving? Should we just nuke the place and just like, just deal with it? Can I answer some questions?
I'd be bummed if they nuke it. I'd be bummed if at the end of this game they just nuke it. There's still good people living in Gotham. Batman fights for them.
Meg, this has completely changed her mind about the game. She's gonna play it now, probably. Probably.
It's a way different trailer than you've seen for most other Batman games.
Don't know Catwoman's in the game. I'm assuming she is. She was playable in the last game that they made, so.
She's Arkham Knight.
Seraphim says he'll give this an 8 for the stuff at the end, but there is no stuff. We're at the end right now, and there is no stuff. I mean, I think they just give like social details and stuff.
They say be the Batman instead of pre-order now. I like be the Batman. I'm cool with that.
Let's see if there's any. Some of the prison guards in Arkham, Joker killed a lot of them, yeah.
And then 2 major deaths in Arkham City is what they say.
It does rub me the wrong way, though. The difference in the character design is getting grittier and grittier.
I don't think so.
I mean, Batman has looked a little bit different. Like, Bruce Wayne's looked a little different from game to game. Batman's face, he just kind of looks different. I mean, it is next gen. It is exclusively next gen.
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of like Nathan Drake. Like, he does look different than he did on PS3 compared to PS4. Like, they have released that like infamous picture of like the 2 Drakes next to each other.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's like, I mean, even in people were talking about the female character from The Order, how she changed since the first cinematic that we saw her in, and they just kind of shaped her face differently just to make her look more realistic.
What is this? 2 different codes can be seen in the trailer.
You haven't seen these?
No.
Yeah, baby.
Where do we find them?
Let's get. Well, I don't know where I only knew about one code. I don't know what the second code
It's from
is. Maybe you can
Dogface
tell us.
Pig Beast.
Yeah, maybe you can tell us where the other code is. But boom, code.
Whoa, that's so cool. What do we do with it?
I don't know.
Maybe when the game comes out. I actually like that. I like that about Batman City, Arkham City, is when you're like decoding things. I'm cool with those things.
Yeah, like a whole set of later. Maybe those are all throughout the game. Maybe there's codes all over the place. Maybe like all the posters and billboards and stuff like that all mean things. Maybe that's not going to mean anything until the game actually comes out.
By the way, this is a good still. They have not shown this yet, right?
Right.
This looks awesome.
I think they kind of teased it, and
this is the scariest Scarecrow I've ever seen. This is terrifying.
Yeah, someone in Rock City heard your cry about pre-order now. They didn't put it in. Joker killed Dr. Penelope Young in Arkham Asylum with a safe bomb. Okay. Yeah, they show Firefly, but they don't show him at the end.
And the billboard shot Poison Ivy. Okay, that's our second code.
Question: who's behind that scarecrow in the early shot?
That's Arkham Knight.
Yeah. And he's like,
He's
like listening to himself. But again, this is like, I don't know. Like, okay, here's another thing that's got me thinking. So he's kind of like a Boba Fett action there. In his mask, but like he's raising his finger to his head, kind of like he's receiving a call or like he's going to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. And then you see Scarecrow in front, and everything's all about Scarecrow. There's Scarecrow. And Origins kind of played more into how Batman and Joker met, and so we had this is spoilers. Sorry, I mean, like, you haven't played any of the Arkham games. Spoilers. So we were led to believe that Black Mask is the pivotal bad guy of Arkham Origins. Turns out to be the Joker. Black Mask is still in it.
Yeah.
And we have not seen Black Mask in the Arkham Knight stuff so far. But all the Arkham games love being like, oh, you think it's this guy? No, it's this guy. With Asylum being the difference, it was pretty much like Joker the whole time. Yeah. They were just so stoked they got Mark Hamill that they're like, where's Joker? And then you think it's Joker at the end of Arkham City. Maybe I won't spoil that one, but it does turn out to be a different villain that you fight that you didn't know. And so there's got to be something happening here. There's got to be something, because they're playing up Scarecrow so much. The teaser was Scarecrow. This one, Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter pointed out, John Noble, thank you so much, from what was that sci-fi show that he was on? He was in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, but he was also on, I want to say Twitch, but it was something called Twitch. What was the show about dimensions? I just said the name of it. Someone's going to throw it out in chat. But yeah, the great John Noble's the voice of Scarecrow, which is different. John Noble did not voice Scarecrow in Arkham Asylum or Arkham...
Fringe.
Sorry.
So you think that's a hint? You're saying that might be a hint.
So because it's a different voice, and because at the very end you see, like, they're really playing up, like, the skull aspect, that, like, he looks like a corpse.
Yeah.
And his teeth are all rotted and crazy, and it's like, oh, maybe he's wearing a mask, but, like, they specifically show the teeth. You know, like, he's really going out of his way to, like, maybe he change his teeth.
So that's the Joker.
And, like, well, hold on.
Okay.
So, like, what's the point of him wearing, like, a mask or something like that if, like, I can just gas Batman and make myself look like whatever I want to? Mm-hmm. Or what's the point of even looking like anything, because if I play my cards right, I'm not even going to see Batman. You know, like, and that's the whole vibe that I get from this trailer is, like, you have fun, Batman. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, like he says, quote, I already won. Like it's kind of like Seven, where it's like, the plan that I already put in motion cannot be stopped. There's nothing you can do. It's just a question of, like, how you're going to deal with it. I am not putting money on the table.
Okay.
But I'm curious if Scarecrow's already dead.
Yeah. And
he's literally being puppeted by... Like, I get a Puppet Master vibe from this shot. I get a vibe where, like...
Oh, cool.
He just kind of looks like a robot. Like, he's like, okay, I'm going in. Like, what if all those messages were pre-recorded or animated?
And meanwhile, Arkham Knight behind him, yeah.
And that's, like, a different voice. He sounds different. He looks different, you know, like... And it's like, you know, you don't need Scarecrow to make the toxin.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a recipe that the Arkham Knight could have possibly found. What if Arkham Knight is Scarecrow and this is like a puppet that he's using?
Sick.
I don't know. There seems to be some clear misdirection that they're doing.
A couple of references to Hush, which is interesting because of all the stuff at the end of Arkham City.
Right.
Like, definitely. Also, who's the cool one that's, like, got the metal wings in the hood that follows you around in Arkham City?
Archangel, or wait, no, Archangel's X-Men.
It's this really cool character. Yeah, you'll see it follow you sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, he takes over for. Oh, he's the guy that replaces Batman when Batman gets his back broken.
Yeah, that guy. It's like or something.
Azrael. Yeah.
Azrael's gonna be in this game.
Yeah, and that's one thing actually that I think. Where's Bane anyway? Yeah, no Bane yet. Yeah, no Calendar Man.
You should have played.
They played up a little bit. They played up a little bit of Harley in the previous trailers, but like we just see Harley being pissed in this. She doesn't get to say anything. I think it's really interesting. Yeah, so we got Poison Ivy. Let's talk about Poison Ivy for a second.
Sure.
Really interesting scene here that she's just kind of casually talking to Batman. You know, they're just like on a rooftop, and she's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do?" And it's like, why isn't Batman stopping her? Like, is she not done anything yet, or is Batman like, I got bigger fish to fry? And one thing that we should put a link over this on GT.com. Yeah, I wonder if.
This is a casual stream. We're just
yeah,
casual.
This is impromptu, and I got a meeting in half an hour, so I only got half an hour to chat about this. But yeah, I haven't had Man-Bat yet. Mad Hatter isn't dead, so you know, maybe you know, maybe he's coming back. You know, clearly showing the cops. One thing that's really important to me that I'm tempted to go back and revisit all of the Arkham games that I really want to be a stickler for. And I'm curious if you can tell in the gameplay shots we're seeing here, is if they totally rearrange the map, I'll be really pissed. If we get into this Arkham, if we get into this Gotham, and this Gotham is totally different, like just location-wise, because they changed Origins a little bit between Arkham City and Origins, but they kept it just enough so you can kind of tell, like, oh, okay, there's at least like the big bridge in the middle, and then there's the two districts, and those are kind of the same, and it doesn't, you know, some of the buildings look different, and like there's some clear, like, this giant thing they added in Origins, this like big building here.
That's in Origins?
Was not in Arkham City.
Cool.
But was in Origins, I believe. And so it's cool that they're. I don't know if it's going to be like a combination of the Gotham we got in Arkham City and the Gotham that we got in Origins. But that always drives me crazy. It was like the Harry Potter movies, Or in like Goblet of Fire, it's like, now there's a big pendulum in the entryway, and it's like, that's never been there. What are you doing? And my wife was a huge Harry Potter fan. It actually doesn't bother her at all. I'm like, that drives me crazy. That's like, let's go down to Hagrid's hut, and it's like, what the hell is this? There's like Stonehenge next to Hagrid's hut now. What? Like in the first movie, Hagrid's hut was like right there, right by the entrance.
Yeah.
And now you like go down this stony path down to Hagrid's hut. Pay no attention to the changing like environment.
It started.
Can you freeze frame on Harley? Yeah. So we got. Hold on, there's a better one coming up.
She's got a gun.
Loads her gun. I love how old everybody looks. Love how old Penguin looks. Love how old Two-Face looks. Oh, she's got her gun up in the end. Great. Hold on, got a great shot of Riddler.
What's cool is they had a screenshot of him, and he looks better than that screenshot.
Where's she put the gun? Is that? Did I miss that?
She's got a gun here.
Yeah,
and
you see her from the front though, holding the gun up. Or maybe I'm on crack. Yeah, there he is again with the skull face.
He's so scary, man.
Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Thought she showed up again, holding her gun. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, sorry. I will freeze frame on that close up.
So, Arliss brings up a good question that I do want to talk to you about, is like the strategy of making this an M-rated game.
Right.
That's crazy to me. She does it well enough. Give her a little face wrinkles.
Well, she's got makeup on.
Alright. She'd be cool if she had like little lines right here.
But I mean, she was still, she wasn't that young actually. She'd probably be, I mean, this is like the end of Golden Age. Again, like in my own personal private Batman, I would imagine like in Golden Age, if like Batman was to cash in, she'd probably be like maybe like late 30s, early 40s, because she was probably like late 20s. If she was like a good enough doctor to go to Arkham to consult famous criminals, that like she's not like just out of college,
right?
So she probably became Harley Quinn in like mid 20s.
And she looks like the girl in Insurgent right now. Too young.
Yeah.
But the M rating. Sorry. Strategically, do you think that's a cool decision from WB Games to make this game rated M? Batman, a video game rated M, is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Oh yeah, no. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea for them to release it. I think it's very intentional that they specifically said like, hey, just so you guys know, fans, this one's M. Like they didn't say that being like, sorry, we know you guys will be upset about that. They're like, they knew people were going to be excited.
Yeah.
So let me ask a good question. Alien Monkey says, didn't they say in a Game Informer interview that the Arkham Knight mask was made as some sort of insult or something to Batman? Wonder what they mean. I think the whole concept of the Arkham Knight is an insult to Batman. He has guns. I think the Knight knows Batman hates that. Like they specifically, like one trailer, like puts Batman on the floor and like points a gun at him.
Cool.
And it sucks because we talked about this before, that it ends with a gunshot, and it's like, oh no, I hope he doesn't shoot Batman in the face in that shot. So we know he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think he knows that like. That'll. I mean, you can see him right there. Like, I think he knows. I think he knows that that'll upset Batman that he's using guns. I think it's like, I don't know. It's like the famous villain play where it's just like, you aren't saving people, I'm saving people. I'm actually a good guy. I'm doing what needs to be done, and that's kill everybody. You know, it's like, I'm killing everybody so we can cleanse the world, and then I can create the utopia on top of the ashes of everything that's going wrong.
But he's got bat ears. It's like very deliberate. That's a taunt.
Yeah.
That's a taunt.
So he's basically saying like, I am, you know, I like, it's like you know, that was the whole big tagline throughout Nolan's series, where it's like, it's the hero that Gotham needs.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the Arkham Knight is saying. It's like, no, I'm the hero that Gotham needs. Like, you've been doing this for how long? And like, where are we at? Where's your Gotham now? Things are supposed to get better, right? If you've been doing this for so long, clearly they're not.
Yeah.
So I'm coming in and I'm doing what needs to be done, which I'm controlling all of these guys. Like I am superior to the Scarecrow, who is getting on camera telling all of the villains of Gotham that he is superior to them. All of those villains are like, sure, like great, I don't care. Like I'm not gonna contest that. Yeah, let me know where the other code is. I'm actually curious where that one pops up. So what happened to Ra's al Ghul at the end of Arkham City? The body vanished after finishing the game.
And when the dawn comes,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's somewhat immortal. So
I forgot that was a whole part of City too.
Right.
Apparently, it's when we see Poison Ivy billboard is when the second vote appears.
Poison Ivy billboard.
Yeah.
But the one thing that also really excites me is this montage. They're like, and then this villain, and then this villain. It's like I don't get the sense that they're showing them off by being like, dude, Two-Face is in this. It's like, right, really, I would have guessed that Two-Face is in that. But just that repetition of like going through all of them, having them look directly into the camera, like Riddler looks really pumped, like. Yeah. So I think that is a direct tease from Rocksteady to be like, who else is going to be in this game? And it's just everybody. I think they're really pulling on all the stops.
Yeah.
And I think it would be smart. And I think that's what they're trying to tease, is that, like, if we're showing... Brandon, can you show the shot of the policeman being beat up? I want to see his face.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Bruce, actually.
I think so. I think it's Bruce in disguise.
I wonder if it's... I wonder if it's like Bruce going undercover.
His hair's too nice. That's Bruce. That's Bruce.
And he's got a little gray. He's got some...
Ooh, he's got some gray.
Some gray streaks, maybe.
Cool.
I don't know if that's just like a bad water effect or something. But yeah, it'd be weird if this was just in the trailer. It seems like that's something. And I wonder who these people are, because we never really meet a lot of other cops in the game. Like, if you really dig into like reading posters and stuff like that, they mention people. But like usually when you meet a cop, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm Bill. The bad guy went that way, Batman. So like I'm curious if is this Montoya? I don't know. Have we met Montoya in the Arkham series?
Really good Gordon, by the way. That's something that's actually always bugged me about the Arkham series. Is like Gordon was like a super beefcake with a thick neck. It never made sense. Like, good job adjusting that.
Clearly Oracle on the left. What? Where? What?
Right there on the left.
That's not Oracle. Oracle's
in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Ivy code is Botanical Gardens. You enter it as the second code in the Arkham Knight site.
Whoa. What do the codes do, Akuma?
Looks like Aaron Cash behind Gordon. Okay, crazy. Do you think Mr. Freeze will be in it? Yeah, I hope everybody's in it. The third code is in the puddle when Harley is exiting through the door at the 6-7 mark.
Cool. This is fun.
Harley's exiting.
I think it might be the 6 or 7 second mark. There's a code. Okay. Where's that code? In the puddle. Come on, code. This is fun. I didn't see a code.
I didn't see a code either.
In the puddle? What are we missing?
It's funny when we overanalyze trailers and teasers, you tend to see what they want you to see. But I mean, that's what they want. That's what they want you to do. I'm not seeing it. Weird. I looked at that Poison Ivy billboard on this pass through. Aaron Cash is there from Arkham Asylum. Okay. Yeah, she is. She's in. I don't think Oracle's in the first one, but she's in Arkham City. Which is so much the focus in the game on Arkham Knight. I have a feeling Batman will die halfway through the story. In the second half, you play through the perspective of the Arkham Knight. I don't know. I could see them killing Batman. I think that would be interesting. I think it'd be interesting if you take over as like Robin or Nightwing or Catwoman or something. I think that would be a very interesting twist.
Like Batman dies halfway through, and then you pick up.
I don't know about halfway through, but it'd be cool if he gets taken out.
Yeah.
If I could end this game any way that I wanted to, if I could actually like, wait, is there a poll? Wait, what?
That's the site. That's the site where we enter our codes. Looks like we enter the code Botanical Gardens.
Oh yeah, enter code. Look at that. That really go.
Let's do it.
And to Batman.
Botanical Gardens.
Yeah,
oh, and it gives you like information. That's cool.
So if I could pick the ending to this game, yeah, it'd be cool if Batman died. I'd like to play as Batman the whole time. I mean, that'd be an interesting twist, but depending on like who would take over for him. But this game's got to end on Arkham Asylum because your first game Arkham Asylum, your second game Arkham City, which was like Escape from New York, so it made sense that they're like it's called Arkham City, even though they still called it the Asylum, but they moved the Asylum to the mainland. So it was like Gotham City and Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. And then Arkham Origins was kind of a loose connection because that they like mostly tied together in the end, where the ending credits of Arkham Origins talk about they interview Jebediah Arkham, I don't know if that's actually his name, and he says like, well, clearly we need an institution that we can put these people. So you're like, okay, the events of Arkham Origins are the genesis of the idea to create Arkham Asylum. So like that's why they got the Arkham name. Whereas in this, it's just like straight up Gotham, and so they still call it Arkham Knight, and he calls himself Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
So like, was he from Arkham? Like, is he in the Arkham family? Like, what's his tie? Why does he not call himself the Gotham Knight? Why does he call himself the Arkham Knight?
You're right.
And so I would die. I would lose my mind. I would be so unbelievably excited if it, like, you literally don't even touch the asylum the entire game. You can just like see it in the distance, and at the very end, you go back to the asylum, and it's like the first game, basically. It's like the map from the first game, but it's all messed up and destroyed, and like some places you can't go into because the buildings have just totally collapsed. You basically play like a little mini version of like, what games have done that? I know there's games that have done that that are like all of a sudden.
Metal Gear Solid 4. You went back to Metal Gear Solid 1.
Resident Evil Outbreak 2, I think, went back to RE2.
Yeah.
That you revisited some of the locations from RE2.
Yeah.
Like the lab and some stuff. So like, oh man, yeah. Amadeus Arkham, thank you, I guess was the first. That was Jebediah. I think Jebediah was maybe the guy in like present day Gotham City that is the inheritance. What do you think Batman dies, but at the end you see Terry ready to be Batman Beyond? Yeah, that'd be a stretch.
Love Batman Beyond.
I love it, but that would just be random, and especially wouldn't mean anything for the lore that they've already set up throughout the series. Thanks, Wolf. Thank you for tuning in. There's nothing sweeter than villains helping the hero for a bit. That is also cool.
Yeah, someone had a cool theory that those three villains we see at the end right here, that we're going to team up with them. You know what I mean? That they're actually going to be on our side. I love that idea. Like teaming up with Harley Quinn.
Yeah, well, one thing that I'm excited about that I hope they do is, and I think they actually play at a little bit here. So let's move over to this action sequence. Meow. So he's fighting a bunch of dudes, and then here he lands. He fights this guy, and then he's fighting a bunch of guys. So like these guys are bum rushing him. You have this car that's just like standing there, and then you have all these guys that are rushing him. So this is maybe like, you know, like you just landed in the middle of that street and there were guys there, or maybe this was a crime because like they added those in Origins. So like, oh, random crimes happen. You can go down and stop them.
Yeah.
But Batman's like, screw this crime. I'm out of here. So leaves these guys, knocks them out as he's leaving. But you have these guys, even guys over in the corner, they're all like taking off because the Batmobile's coming flying in. And then he gets in the car and takes off. And it's like, I'm leaving this crime. Like, I was fighting these guys, but now I'm leaving. I'm going to go chase this other guy. And so, you know, goes after this car now. It's like, I'm going to go stop this crime. So, what I'm hoping that they do is that you not only have these, like, random crimes, but you have multiple crimes. So, like, while you're in the process of doing one crime, another crime pops up. Or, you know, like, if they spontaneously have, like, oh, Man-Bat was escaped. Or, oh, Penguin's robbing this bank. So you're like, oh, I got to go do that. And then right in the middle of you trying to stop Penguin, you get a message from Riddler, and he's like, "You got 2 minutes, or I'm going to blow this thing up." And so you have to decide, like, am I going to let Penguin get away, and then I got to deal with Penguin later, or am I going to divert attention now and go stop Riddler? Because that's like a problem inherent naturally to the whole concept of an open world game. And really Zelda. I think I've seen a lot of comics that make fun of that in Zelda, where it's like, Link, you have to save the world. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to do archery contests. And you're like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're like, you need to focus on, like, the problems at hand. And so it'd be interesting if they kind of play on that, where they're like, it's kind of Mass Effect. It's like, there's no right answer here. You have to let one of these guys go. Or you
That'd be really cool, yeah.
Or you have to, like, if I was one of these villains, I would wait, and if I was Riddler, I'd wait until Penguin made a move, or Poison Ivy made a move, and then I'd make my move right at that time. Because I know, like, he can't be in two places at once.
Constant feeling of hopelessness.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Martin? We're just talking about Arkham Knight. After like the 10th tweet, somebody like sent me a message on Twitter. They're like, you should just like get this out of your system and get on Twitch and talk about it. And I'm curious what you guys think. Like, I want, you know, like, I try to know as much as I can about Batman, but like, I even forgot his name. Somebody mentioned one of the guys that was behind Gordon in the police station that I totally forgot was in Arkham Asylum. So, I would love Batmobile skins. Animated series, the original movie would be insane. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It'd be tough because like they're different sizes. So like even if you had a different skin, like
it'd be squished a little.
The animated series Batmobile's way longer than the Batmobile in this game. But that would be cool, and they did do that in Arkham City. Like they did have skins. You could, even though the animated series version was kind of terrifying. But yeah, different skins would be great. So yeah, the Batmobile in general, like I wasn't like super excited about when they first started talking about it, because like honestly, like again talking about like my personal Batman, like I think the Batmobile is kind of a silly concept. It's like even if you were like on a motorcycle, I bet it'd be pretty difficult to get through Gotham traffic. So it's just like weird that Batman like always goes into town where it's like, oh, there's an issue. Well, I'm just gonna drive the Batmobile in there. It's like, what if there's traffic? Like, what if there's what if there's an accident on the freeway going into the city? Like, what do you do? And so it never really made sense for me. Like which is why I liked in Origins where he's like, no, I'm gonna take the Batwing and it's literally just gonna just drop me in. Like it's gonna be on remote, and like that to me makes the most sense if he's like trying to get around. Does it bother anyone that Batmobile has guns? It feels too tanked up. Literally the only thing I'm a bit iffy about. Yeah, they're like stun guns. So anytime you see the Batmobile blow something up, it's a drone. And anytime you see it like take somebody out, it's like an air pressure or like a pellet or something. So yeah, it's not lethal. And I think it like automatically changes, like the reticle that you're aiming and stuff changes depending on if it's a live target or a non-live target.
Haven't you done a little Arkham Knight gameplay firsthand? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I played Arkham Knight at E3 last year, and played a rather lengthy demo. It was 20-30 minutes. You guys have pretty much seen the whole thing. It was the Ace Chemicals plant thing that they released. Memorable stuff that I really digged. There's like if you're flying towards a building, and you like want to like crash into the window, there'll be a prompt once you get close to the building that'll be like an instant takedown. So you can like fly through the top of the fly in through a window and immediately go after a guy and take him down.
Cool.
And if you are going into a maintenance shaft or something, like if you're going into like a little tunnel area that'll pop out into a room where there's bad guys, it'll give you the prompt before you go in that basically says there's a bad guy on the other end of this. If you just want to hop out and take him out. So there's a lot of, which they've done before in Arkham, but it's always been you like underneath a grate, and then you have to wait till a guy goes over you, and then you can pop out and grab him. And so now they're adding that to his traversal, so he can literally like fly right into a building. And the other thing that I thought was really cool is there was a lot of puzzle solving via the Batmobile independent of Batman. So when he was in the Ace Chemicals plant, and they kind of rushed through this in the gameplay video, but at one point he goes into a building and then he goes down to an elevator and then is like, I gotta take this elevator back up. So he patches back into the Batmobile even though Batman's separate from the building. So you're controlling the Batmobile that Batman's not in. And via the Batmobile's camera, you can see where Batman is.
Oh, that's cool.
And you shoot a cable at the elevator shaft and drive the Batmobile back to pull the elevator up and then pull Batman up through the elevator.
You're playing a co-op game.
So I'm hoping there's a lot of like cool combat-related puzzle solving where like Batman's inside of a building and you're in the Batmobile, maybe like covering Batman as he's running around doing stuff. Maybe some possible co-op opportunities of like a second player controlling Nightwing or Robin and the Batmobile and Batman doing something separate.
Do you think they knew they were going to delay it when they announced the game?
No. Because why would you
Yeah.
why would you schedule the delay?
I think it's a next-gen thing. I think, it's just them getting a hand of the new hardware.
Yeah. And there's only been one big delay, right? They just delayed it once.
Yeah.
And it was a heavy delay. It was like a year delay.
Right. It was
We were supposed to get it in
fall.
October.
Yeah.
And they delayed it like 7 or 8 months all the way to June. So I think they were like, okay, let's not push this back a couple of months. Let's do a big push. Let's like delay it big time and basically just say like, nope, this is not going to be a 2014 game. This is going to be a 2015 game. We're going to spend a lot more time with it. There's no multiplayer. There's no weird online modes.
Which is crazy, by the way.
There's no extra stuff.
What an investment.
Everything about this game seems like a giant investment. It doesn't seem like, and I was a little nervous when they were pumping the Batmobile so much that like the Batmobile would be like the thing. So there's so many missions where I'm like, I don't want to use the Batmobile. And so I'm hoping there's a lot of things that happen in this game that are independent of the vehicle, where it's like, you can take the vehicle over there if you want, or you can just say screw it. Another thing that I'm really hoping that they do, is the Ace Chemicals plant that I played was very inclusive. So there was like a bridge, and there was like a separation in the bridge and the Ace Chemicals plant, and so you had to like get a guy, and then call the Batmobile over, put him in the Batmobile, drive the Batmobile over the jump, drop him off, drive it back over to the Ace Chemicals plant, blow up some stuff.
They show that, yeah.
So they kind of told you, like, okay, here's where you need to take the Batmobile. And they've shown that if Batman is independent of the Batmobile, he can push a button and call the Batmobile. I have fingers crossed, and what I would just lose my mind, it's kind of like when I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I was like, wait a minute, I can just leave my ship? I can, like, when my ship's being attacked, I can just, like, leave the ship and go over to the other ship, and then, like, that's, like, my ship is totally independent of me. It would be so awesome if you drove the Batmobile to one side of Gotham, got out, flew all the way over to the other side of the Gotham, called the Batmobile, and it took a while to get to where you were.
Oh yeah.
Because the game knew, like, well, wait, you left the Batmobile all the way over here. What would suck is if it's always like right there. You know, if it just spawns right next to you.
That's Dragon Age. You call your horse, and it's just like
right there.
Yeah.
And I mean, a horse makes sense because a horse is like alive. You know, it makes sense that the horse like follows you.
Yeah.
I think it was like Assassin's Creed where the horse was like always like, hey, what's up? You were just like, hey, get it. I'm trying to stealth. Get out of the way, horse. But I would really dig that if it was truly independent, and you could like, oh, it'd be great if you could maybe even send, if like you leveled up the Batmobile, or you maybe got, or like, because you know he gears up throughout each of these games, kind of like Metroid. It'd be cool if you gain an ability like halfway through the game, where if there is like, oh, car chase, you know, like those just randomly pop up, you can just send the Batmobile after it. You're just like, I don't even need to do that. Like the Batmobile will just do it. It'll go,
cool.
and then I can see in real time, I can see the Batmobile chasing this car or something. I don't know. I'm just like, ever since I saw this trailer, it's just ignited this like, what if they did this over and over and over and over again?
Trailer's
Too loud.
not too high. We gotta cut it down a little bit.
So we go. Do you think the Suicide Squad will be in the game after Amanda tried to recruit Slade?
I think that'll be its own game. That's my theory.
Yeah, again, that they haven't talked about allies at all. This is the first time we've seen Gordon, I think, in any. Maybe there was like a tease of Gordon in the first trailer, but I think they're keeping Oracle out. They're keeping Alfred out. Thanks, Meg. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see if there's any good questions. I don't remember Batman ever waiting long for the Batmobile. Yeah, but we have yet to see like raw, uncut gameplay. And like I mentioned, the Batmobile was always right outside of Ace Chemicals in the demo that I played. So I think we've yet to really see like a long
create distance,
test of exactly how that system works. Horses don't run into trees. This is true. I hope the Arkham Knight is someone we don't know of already. That would be cool. That would be a really interesting twist. Yeah, if he like takes his Jason Todd Arkham Knight. Yeah, they haven't talked about Jason Todd yet. I honestly think that they knew they had no hope of making the release date with not much marketing for the original release date. I think they just did it so people would jump on next-gen consoles. Ooh, yeah.
It's very cynical.
That is cynical, but I mean that's at least using your noggin.
I do want to check out one thing.
Gordon was in the first trailer. Okay.
So, it's Two-Face here.
Right.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know what the dialogue is. Can you tell me what he's feeling here? When he walks away, it's just like, he does look reluctant. You know what I mean? So it explodes, and look at his expression. You know, he's like, he's not into this, it looks like.
Yeah, I think, and like Penguin's clearly pissed, and he's clearly like saying something, so this is obviously a cutscene, like actually from the game.
Yeah.
Interesting, I wonder if this is just back at his club, or I wonder if this is a new location.
Oh, check it out, it's got a big penguin in the back. That cool, like, penguin.
Oh, yeah. Cool, nice.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a war with the bad guys. They're not happy that Scarecrow's taken over.
So yeah, so again, that's maybe something we can talk about. Is like, well, I mentioned this before. That's like, I think it's the I think I was talking with I can't remember who I was talking with this morning. One of my favorite Batman the Animated Series episodes was an episode where a rumor spread that Batman was dead, and Joker's like, I don't believe it, and so Joker went and robbed a bank and was like waiting for Batman to show up, and Batman didn't show up. And so he told him, he's like, put the money back. And the guys were like, this is like one of the best scores we've ever had, man. We're like walking around with this money. He's like, that's not the point. Like, you're missing the point of why we do this.
Yeah.
And so like maybe I get a sense. I don't know if Penguin would necessarily like shed a tear for Batman, but like maybe like Two-Face is like, it's too easy, you know. It's like I really like pissing off Batman. I don't like that Batman's distracted.
Dude, the way he turns around there, it's so cool.
And this kind of, the first initial teaser that we got kind of plays into this. Like you see Two-Face just in the middle of the street, you know, with his goons.
Yeah. But those aren't his goons even. Those are creepy Scarecrow goons.
Right. Maybe might be the villains getting together with Batman against the supreme evilness. And that would be interesting if, what would be super cool, if we're just going to be like pie in the sky about it, is if you have control over that. Is if you can decide maybe at one point like which villains you want to take down and which villains you actually want to seek.
Oh
Maybe if there is a point where the story kind of splits up and it's like, okay, you can go after the Riddler, you can go after Two-Face, you can go after Poison Ivy, or you can go after the Penguin.
Yeah.
And what order you go after them in dictates what you can do, kind of like Mega Man, where it's like if you take Riddler out, then you unlock all the Riddler towers that he's built, and then you can maybe like get clues to crimes faster. And again, it's like if the cops are busy doing what they're doing, and you know, like who knows what's happening to the asylum? It's like if you capture Riddler, like then what? We call the cops; they're not gonna come get him, you know. So it's really it's kind of like the Wild West, you know. Be funny to see Ivy meeting with Gordon's ex-wife. Haven't we met? Oh right, I used to squat in your penthouse. Maybe the Arkham Knight is John Paul Valley. Yeah, maybe. Although I've asked this before, but did they ever actually shut down the Arkham City project after the events of that game concluded? Because if they didn't, and an entire section of Gotham is still closed off as a giant asylum, it would certainly explain why it's the Arkham Knight as opposed to just Gotham Knight. Yeah.
I'm going to assume they said that didn't work, we're not going to do that anymore at the end of that game.
Well, but they'd have to, they built like a lot of the perimeters, they built like giant walls and stuff, so like they're not going to tear down those walls. I don't know, because this is, there is a big gap. Like we haven't, there's obviously a tease of like Joker's kid after Arkham City that Harley was pregnant, and obviously she's not pregnant in this, so that's something that they haven't teased.
Although apparently in the DLC they showed that she isn't pregnant anymore.
Oh, so that was just her. Yeah, I never actually played any of the added stuff.
Yeah, Huber explained that to me.
Superman will show up at the end leading up to Justice League. What do you think?
That'd be so. What if it's like Deus Ex Superman? Like everything, you're at the lowest of lows, and Superman just comes in and wipes everything out. I'd be so mad.
Yeah. He just saves everything.
Yeah.
But I always get a sense of like that, like if Superman really fought Batman, if Batman was not prepared for the fight, Superman would just like wipe the floor with him. But Superman knows that like I'm not gonna kill Batman. That would certainly hurt my reputation, and I don't want to piss off Batman. Batman could make my life very difficult. Like he could, hack into the Daily Planet and expose my identity. He could, there's all sorts of things that Batman could do. And so I always thought there was kind of this mutual respect, and so it's not just Superman like, well, I'm just going to stop by Gotham and solve everything because that would be the right thing to do. He's like, I don't want to step on Batman's toes. I don't want to piss this guy off.
Sure.
I don't want to steal his thunder. Aquaman will show up. Yeah, clearly the new badass Aquaman. Have they mentioned how big the world of the game will be? Not specifically, no.
Phantom pregnancy showing how much she wanted to have a kid with the Joker. I think it's a cover-up, but a really good one.
Having Green Arrow in the game would be super cool. Super cool. Phantom pregnancy. The Phantom pregnancy. I don't remember how Arkham City ended, but what if Arkham Knight is Joker and has to stay in the suit to survive or something along those lines? Again, like I would love it if the Joker popped up in a hallucination or popped up in some kind of dream sequence or some way to that would be really creepy if he showed up and was just kind of like a bane, or not literally a bane, but like just kind of like a thorn in Batman's side the whole time. Brandon, was the demo similar to Arkham City in terms of gameplay mechanics, stealth combat, etc.? Yeah, it was it felt like Arkham City.
Was there still detective mode?
They still had detective mode. They were really just trying to play up, like I said, like the big things were the puzzle elements of the Batmobile, just obviously driving the Batmobile around itself. I'm sure there's it ended with the helicopter showing up, so I'm assuming you have some kind of strafe battle with the helicopter where you're riding around. They showed in the demo you grab a guy and you help him escape from the Ace Chemical plant, and you do that by putting him in the back. So this little seat thing pops out of the back.
Show that in the trailer.
And you get guys, and so I wonder if there's going to be retrieval mini missions or stuff where you have to go to different parts of the city and rescue people, and then put them in the Batmobile and drive them somewhere and then pop them back out. It would be so hard to make a Superman game. I'd rather make Wonder Woman game first. Yeah, it's a challenge, but I think you can make a good Superman game. Superman Returns like had some good ideas, but it just was like the city was just so boring.
It's 3 p.m. I'm gonna do closing thoughts.
Okay, so I'm pumped. I think if we haven't established that already, thank you for pointing out the time. Otherwise, I'd be here until like 5 p.m. My favorite thing about this trailer is the entire vibe of not caring about Batman, of Batman playing catch up. You know, it's like because whenever, and that's like I think one of the things that I don't know if they really knew intentionally that they were setting up in Arkham City by killing off the Joker, but it's like once we remove Joker from it, because Joker's so obsessed with Batman, and Joker wants to surround all of his plans around Batman, and Joker just can't wait to start the party until Batman shows up. And he loves making fun of Batman, and he loves pissing off Batman. Maybe all these other villains don't. Maybe they're like, I don't care. Like, I don't know why we didn't just kill Batman a long time ago. Like, I don't know why we didn't take that opportunity and do that. And so, what it really excites me is kind of like the indifference, like the loneliness, and it makes me happy because I was really upset that Gotham City was vacant and that like all the citizens were gone, because it's like I'd love to like stop a person snatcher. I'd love to like fight someone that isn't the most amazing villain of all time, just to kind of show off how badass Batman is. But what I think is really fascinating is it's like, what if you create this kind of similar to Metroid, this empty, hollow environment that's like. That's sad and kind of depressing, you know? And it's like, you have all these cops that are sticking around. It's like, what are you guys doing? Why don't you just leave? You know, it's like, why don't you just cut your losses and get out of there? And so it really begs the question. It's like, what is so important about Gotham that's worth saving? Like, what is this stick up Batman's ass that he's just so determined that, like, no, I am the one that has to stop you. I am the only one that can do this. That in the face of all of this adversity, it was basically them saying that they've already lost. What's the point of you, trying to stop him? And they haven't really said what the game is, you know, like what the not literally the video game, but like what's Arkham Knight doing? What's his ultimate goal? If he says he's already won, then what is the game that we get to play? This it's interesting that like there's a lot of gameplay in here, but it wasn't necessarily the gameplay that like got me really excited. It was just the tone and the dialogue. I wasn't a big fan of the teaser with like Thomas Wayne being like, Bruce, don't buy expensive cars and all that stuff. I thought that dialogue went along way too long, and I think there's like, if you have a really cool character, if you have John Noble, like it can be tempting to have him talk for like 5 minutes. And I thought the trailer was split up really well in this kind of introduction and setting up the villains, and then him talking directly to the villains, the cops, and to Batman. And again, just that indifference of just like, I don't care what you guys do. I'm just kind of, I'm really more talking to the villains here and just letting you know, like, I got your back, I got your protection, I have people that are working for me, I got this whole thing figured out. And there's just so many questions. What allies does he have? Why are the villains still here? What is their game? Who's the Arkham Knight? What's Scarecrow's game? Is Joker coming back? It's like the trailer just brought up a lot of questions, and that's what really good trailers do. End of story. And I mean, we got to talk about this on Let's Go Look at the Trailers this week, but it's like I just did it. It's like I should just like point it towards blood, I guess, and that's
we didn't see what
Bloodworth thinks.
What was fun about this discussion is you're talking about the game. We didn't get into the nitty gritty of the trailer itself and the editing and what they chose to show and those things and music and things like that. We still got trailer analysis.
Trailer score. Tune in to Let's All Go to the Trailers next Monday.
Yeah.
And you'll get our official trailer score. I got to meditate on it. I don't know. Real good though.
Don't pump the brakes, as we say.
Yeah, super good. How we doing? I'm just curious to see what our traffic is.
We're at 159.
159!
Yeah.
Thank you, 159 people that tuned in for us to just talk about trailers. We should do this more often, but we don't have time. But it's Batman, so I made the time. Damn it. I got all sorts of stuff to do. But and thank you, Kyle, for joining me.
That was fun.
And thank you guys for coming out. Yeah, 7.8. Thank you guys for asking good questions. I'm sorry if I missed any of them. You can reach me at GameTrailers VO. If you got any questions or any good comments, I will be talking about this for the next March, April, May.
You're not GameTrailers VO anymore?
Yeah, still.
I thought you were Trailer Jones.
I was thinking about it. I'm still mulling around in my head.
I've seen people use Trailer Jones in reference to.
I do have one follower already on that account. I just wanted to see what people thought about it, but yeah, you can follow me at GameTrailers VO and ask me questions, and let's talk about this, man, because that's all we can do for the next couple months.
Jordan joined Twitch account just to join this conversation.
Man.
That means we should do this more often.
All right. Brandon, gonna make a finished analysis video of the game to upload on GT website if you haven't already. Love to see that. Yeah, next Monday you can watch our show. Let's All Go to the Trailers, and Mr. Bosman and Mr. Bloodworth and I will talk about this trailer more at length and give it a score.
Yeah.
I have yet to give a 10 on Let's All Go to the Trailers, so we'll see if this gets a 10. Alright, we got stuff to do. Bless all you for tuning in. See you guys at our official stream at 6 p.m. Take care.